Hello everyone. In the previous classes, we have discussed about the Galilean transformation equation, Michelson-Morley experiment, and postulates of special theory of relativity. In Newtonian relativity, it was assumed that time is invariant quantity, but according to the postulates of special theory of relativity, time is no more invariant, but it depends upon the observer's motion. According to the special theory of relativity, speed of light is not constant is constant in all inertial frame of reference. C is constant in all inertial frame of reference, but in Galilean transformation or in Newtonian relativity, C was assumed to be relative. We have also seen that Galilean transformation equations are no more useful to explain the conclusions of Michelson-Morley experiment, as it does not support the constancy of speed of light. Therefore, we require a new transformation equation which should be in accordance to the postulates of special theory of relativity. So, this is a transformation equation which was used in Galilean transformation, or we can say that this transformation equation is valid in Newtonian relativity, but when the observer motion is very high, for example, if v is not very small, means if v was very small compared to the velocity of light, then this equation was valid. But when the velocity is very high and it is comparable to the velocity of light, or somehow v is very high, then in that condition this equation was not appropriate for describing the motion of any body. So one prediction may be, because it was not valid for high velocity, so we can assume that we can modify this equation by multiplying this term with constant with some function of velocity k. Here we can write x dash is equal to k x minus vt. So this is for a particular case. Here k is the function of velocity only. K is the function of velocity only. Okay. So again, in establishing the Lorentz transformation equation, I am assuming the simplest case in which S frame, there is two frame of reference S and S dash, and S dash is moving with velocity v in positive x direction. X, Y, Z. So here you can see that there are two frame of reference S and S dash, and S dash is moving in positive x direction with velocity v. So for uh, any event of if any event takes place in the space, then for the uh, observer S dash, its position will be described by x dash. And suppose here, suppose some event takes place at point P, then for the observer S dash, it will be its coordinates will be x dash, y dash, z dash, and t dash. But for the observer, yes, its coordinates will be, yes, is x, y, z, and t. Okay. So the here the transformation equation will be k x minus b t. So we'll establish the Lorentz transformation equation, that is the relation between x and x dash and t dash. We have to establish the relation between these variables x dash t dash. So according to the postulates of special theory of relativity, laws of physics have the same form in all frame of reference. So since we have written x dash in terms of the coordinates of in terms of the observation made by the observer of S frame of reference, in which we have assumed that S dash is moving with velocity v in the positive x direction. So inversely we can say that S is moving with velocity minus v in the x direction. Okay, so in this case we can write the coordinates. We can write the coordinates in terms of the observation made by s dash frame of reference as x is equal to k x dash plus v t dash, where x dash and t dash are the observations made by the observer s dash, and s is the observation made by the observer of s. So I have written x in terms of the observations made by the observer of s dash, assuming that s is moving with minus v velocity. Okay, so here we have two equations. First is x dash is equal to k x minus vt, and second is x is equal to k s dash plus v t dash. Let's name it 1 and 2. Okay, now what we will do, we'll substitute x dash in this equation, in equation number 2. So we will have x is equal to k, substitute x dash k x minus vt plus vt dash. We can further simplify this and this equation can be written as x is equal to k square x minus kx vt kx vt plus kv t dash. Okay, so x is equal to k square x and k square, no, this is not x, this is k square minus k square vt kvt dash. We can take these two terms together and we can write here as x is equal to 1 minus k square is equal to minus k square vt plus kvt dash. So we can write t dash is equal to kt plus xy kb 1 minus k square. So you can see here the time which was invariant in Newtonian relativity is now depends on the function k and position. Okay, it means it depends upon the relative velocity and the position of occurring of that event also. So this is the time measured by s dash frame of reference in terms of the observation made by the observer s. So again, as we have written this equation, we can simply write for the expression for t, assuming that s is moving with minus b velocity. So you can write this equation according to the postulates of first postulates of special theory of relativity. We can write k t dash here minus xy kv. I have taken v negative because it is moving according to this frame of reference. This is moving in minus v direction, so we can write this as 1 minus k square. So we have two equation. One is for t dash. Okay, let's name it equation number 3, and we can name the other equation as equation number 4. Now we are very close to establish the relation between t dash and t. What we have to do, we have to find the value of k only. Okay, so for this let's assume that these two observers means s and s dash, right? Okay, s and s dash are at, at t is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0, s and s dash coincides. Okay, means if observer o and o dash position at t is equal to 0, position of o and o dash is same. Means origin of these two frame of reference at t is equal to 0 coincides. Okay. So we further assume that at t is equal to 0, a light originates from their origin. Means some event takes place here, that you produce some light, and it's propagate in the medium. So at t is equal to 0, when the origin of both the coordinates coincides, both the frame of reference coincides, at that time a light originates. So, and if in time t, what will happen, for the observer, the light will propagate, traverse a distance x is equal to with velocity c t. But for the observer s dash in time t, so when it will be time t, at some other time t, what will happen, the both position of the both the observer will be different. Here is o and here is o dash, because in time t uh, this observer is moving with velocity v, so it will uh, travel some distance, it will move some distance with according to this observer, this will move with the distance vt. Okay, so the light which originates at t is equal to 0, the observer of frame of reference s will find that x is equal to ct. Okay, but this time t is different for the observer s dash, so he will find that a light position of light, means suppose this is a position p when we are measuring, and this is this its position is x, and x and time t. Okay, and for this observer its position is x dash, and time will also be different, because according to special theory of relativity, time is no more invariant quantity. So you can write x dash is equal to c t dash. Why I am taking c constant? According to the second postulate of special theory of relativity, velocity of light is independent of the relative motion between the observer, and its value is c in all the direction. Okay, so that's why we have taken c constant here in both the frame of reference. Okay, so since we have to find out the value of k, so what we'll do next, we'll substitute the value of x and x dash in equation number 1 and 2. Okay, so let's substitute it. So when you substitute x dash here, it will be x, in place of x dash you can write ct dash k. In place of x, when you substitute, you can write x is equal to ct minus vt. Okay, similarly we can substitute x and x dash values in equation number 2. So we will have ct is equal to k ct dash plus vt dash. Okay, so now multiply these two equations. Now multiply these two equations, we will get c square t dash is equal to k square. We can take common t from this bracket and t dash from this bracket. We will have t dash equal to c minus v, c plus v. Here t dash will cancel each other, and we'll have the expression for k square as c square divided by c square minus v square. So we can write it as k square is equal to 1 minus v, sorry, no, we should not take square root now this place. It will be 1 divided by 1 minus v square by c square. So are you able to see? So we can write k as 1 upon 1 minus v square by c square. Okay, so what we'll do next, we'll substitute the value of k in this equation number 3 4 and 1 2. So on substituting the value of k in the first equation, we'll get this x dash is equal to x minus vt square root of 1 minus v square by c square. So this is our first transformation equation. Now we also need the relation between t and t dash. So we'll again substitute the value of k in this equation number 3 and 4. So we'll get after simplifying we have substituted the value of k here, okay, k here and k here also, okay. After solving this, you can see here the steps, okay. So after solving this, we will get the final expression as we have already discussed, so I am not discussing again. So the final expression will be t dash is equal to t minus xb by c square divided by 1 minus v square by c square. So these two are the transformation equation, and these two transformation equations are called Lorentz transformation equation. So what are the differences between the Lorentz transformation equation and Galilean transformation equation? We can compare here. So first I will write here Lorentz transformation equation. Lorentz transformation equation, and here Galilean transformation. So according to the Lorentz transformation equation, x dash is equal to x minus vt divided by 1 minus v square by c square, y dash is equal to y, z dash is equal to z, and t dash is equal to t minus xv by c square divided by 1 square root of 1 minus v square by c square. So these are the sets of Lorentz transformation equation. So this transformation equation is for the simple case in which we have assumed that S and S dash, suppose this is the S frame of reference and this is S dash frame of reference, and S dash is moving in positive x direction, okay. S dash is moving in positive direction. This is the x direction, this is the x dash. So S dash is moving in positive x direction with velocity v. So the changes will be in the dimension of x. So these are the transformation equations for this case. According to Galilean transformation, it was x is equal to x dash is equal to x minus vt, and y dash is equal to y, z dash is equal to z, and t dash is equal to t. So what you will see here you will see that t, here you can see that t was initially invariant as according to the Newtonian relativity. So now we are going to compare the Lorentz transformation equation and Galilean transformation equation. So for the simplest case in which we have assumed that S dash is moving with velocity v in the positive x direction, we can write the Lorentz transformation equation as x dash is equal to x minus vt divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, and y dash is equal to y, z dash is equal to z, and t dash is equal to t minus xv by c square divided by 1 minus v square by c square. So these are the Lorentz transformation equation for this case, and we can also write the Galilean transformation equation here as x dash is equal to x minus vt, y dash is equal to y, z dash is equal to z, t dash is equal to t. So what we see that since the motion in the x direction, so in the coordinates of x direction there is an additional term, okay, as compared to the Galilean transformation equation. And also we see that initially it was in the Galilean transformation when t dash was equal to t, means time was invariant, but time is no more invariant in the Lorentz transformation equation, and it depends upon the velocity, means it also depends upon the relative motion between the velocity. So both the space and time also depend upon the relative motion of uh, velocity. I mean relative motion between the observers, okay. So v is the relative velocity between the observers of s and s dash. So we have additional terms of this. So we can see here that the Galilean transformation equations are the just approximation of Lorentz transformation equation at very low velocity. So suppose take the first case, x dash is equal to x minus vt 1 minus v square by c square. For our daily experience we know that the velocity that we notice is very small, means velocity of train, bus or aeroplane is very small compared to c, because the velocity of light is 3 into 10 to power 8 meter per second, and the velocity that we notice in our daily life is very small, means 100 kilometer per hour, like this velocity now. So since this velocity v is very small, so we don't see any relativistic effect in our daily experience. So if v is very small, so v square by c square will be almost equal to 0. So in this case you can write x dash is equal to x minus vt. So Lorentz transformation equation, uh, Lorentz transformation equation converts into the Galilean transformation equation for very low velocity. So we can say that the Galilean transformation equations are just approximation of Lorentz transformation equation at very low velocity. Similarly, for last one we can see that if v is very small, so if v is very small compared to c, so this term will be again v square by c square will be almost negligible, so we can consider it as 0. And if v is very small, then the fraction v by c square will also be very small, hence this term can be neglected, and we see that t is dash is equal to t. So that's why we don't experience any relativistic effect, means we in Newtonian relativity we consider time as invariant quantity. So these are the transformation equations clearly. So previously we have already discussed in case of Galilean transformation that we have described the position coordinates, or we can say that the observations of s dash frame of reference in terms of the observation made by the observer of s. Similarly we can write inverse transformation equation, inverse, so that those equations are called inverse transformation equation. So you can write the inverse transformation equation assuming that s is moving in with minus v velocity. So you can write x is equal to x dash plus vt, y is equal to y dash, and z is equal to z dash, and t is equal to t dash. So this is inverse Galilean. Okay. So this is inverse Galilean transformation equation, and this is in the exam sometime they ask write the inverse Galilean transformation equation or inverse Lorentz transformation equation. So you can write in this way. So these are the uh, transformation equations, direct transformation equation, and these are the inverse transformation equation. So you can you can very easily write assuming that s is moving in minus uh, moving with minus v velocity in the x direction. Okay. So similarly we can write the inverse Lorentz transformation equation, inverse Lorentz transformation equation. So how will you write? Again you will see, take the similar case in which s is moving with you can assume that s is moving with minus v velocity with respect to the observer of s dash. So you can write it as x is equal to s dash plus, here in place of minus we can write v t dash 1 minus v square by c square, y is equal to y dash, z is equal to z dash, and you can write the t time t measured by s frame of reference in terms of the observation made by the observer of s as t dash plus xvy, because I have taken that according to this observer s dash, s is moving in minus v velocity. So you can write xv by c square divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c. So this set of equations are called inverse Laurent transformation equation, and this set of equations are called Laurent transformation equation. So now I think you are now able to write the you can now able to derive and write the Laurent transformation equation, inverse Laurent transformation equation. Now, so this is for the particular case in which uh, relative motion was in the x direction. Suppose if the relative motion is in some other direction. Okay, so let's assume that this is s frame of reference. Okay, and this is s dash frame of reference. Okay, now it should be clear. uh, so now in previous case we have assumed that s dash is moving with the velocity v in x direction, vx cap, but now we will assume that s dash is moving with velocity v with component vx is equal to x cap, vy is equal to y cap, and vz is equal to z cap. Okay, so if the relative motion between two observers is not in the x direction but in some arbitrary direction, then suppose it is moving with velocity v in this direction, then this velocity has some resolved component along x y z. So you can write the velocity v is equal to vx x cap, vy y cap, and vz z cap. Now in this case there is relative motion in each direction. So now if you have to write the Laurent transformation equation, how will you write? The first, as you have written, the first equation will be x dash is equal to x minus. So in the direction of x, in the x direction, it is the velocity component is vx. Okay, so you can write x minus vxt divided by square root of 1 minus v. Why? When we have taken the case that s dash is moving in positive x direction, in that case vy and vz was 0, but now uh, the relative velocity between x direction is vx. So if you want to write the uh, y dash, how will you write? You need to take the component vy, because in this direction this frame of reference is moving in y direction, this frame of reference is moving with velocity vy. So you can write y dash is equal to y minus vy t 1 minus v square by c square. We can do yourself, uh, and z dash is equal to z minus vz t divided by 1 minus v square by c square. So this, now for time you can write t dash is equal to uh, t minus, here we will not write x, will write r dot v, okay, by c square divided by 1 minus v square by c square. So here r is equal to x cap, y cap, z cap, and v is equal to vx x cap, vy y cap, plus vz z cap. When uh, when the motion was only in x direction, then this vy vz was 0, so their dot product was just only x vx. Okay, so these are the set of uh, Lorentz transformation equation. So for the relative motion between s and s dash is in some arbitrary direction. So I think that you are now able to write the transformation equations, Lorentz transformation equation, and you can also write the inverse Lorentz transformation equation. So in the next class we will discuss about the length, some important consequences of Lorentz transformation equation, in which we will discuss about length contraction, time dilation, and velocity addition rule, and also we will discuss relativistic mass variation formula. Relativistic mass variation formula. So these are the important consequences of Lorentz transformation equation. So we'll discuss length contraction. So this is the length contraction formula, 1 minus v square by c square L0. L0 is the proper length of any object. So if L0 is defined as the length of any body in the frame of reference in which it is at rest. So for the observer which is moving, for the observer relative to which this length is moving, will observe its length some smaller length. He will observe some smaller length, and that will be L is equal to L is 0 multiplied by square root of 1 minus v square by c. Similarly, time dilation effect. So for the observer which is at rest, will observe some larger time interval of any event. So if this is the time interval observed by the frame of reference which is on ground, and delta t0 is the time interval in some moving frame of reference, then we can write the relation between these two as. Similarly, we will have some velocity addition rules, and we also have some relativistic mass variation formula. So in the next class we will discuss all these four things. Here I want to explain here. So m0 is the rest mass of any object, and if this mass is moving with some velocity, the mass of this body will appear for the observer which is at rest as is equal to m0 divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. So in the next class we will discuss all these things. Okay, thank you.